I have no pension, no savings, and no one to rely on, but I finally found peace. Have you ever given everything to someone you love, only to be forgotten when you needed them most? No saving, no pension, no one checking in to ask if you're okay? That was me. At 65, I found myself alone in a small apartment after raising a child, burying a husband, and working for decades with nothing to show for it. But this isn't a story of pity. This is the story of how I stopped waiting and finally started living for me. Chapter 1: The Silent Collapse. I used to think aging meant peace. Evenings on the porch with Tom, my husband, Sunday dinners with our son Jacob, maybe a grandchild one day running through the yard. That was the picture I carried in my heart. But reality came like a quiet storm. It was a cold morning when Tom left for work, coffee in hand. "Don't wait up, hun," he said like he always did, but I would have given anything to wait that day. By noon, the call came. The scaffolding at the construction site had collapsed. Tom never made it to the hospital. He was gone. I didn't cry right away. I turned off the stew on the stove, sat at the table, and stared at the floor for hours. The funeral passed in a blur. Strangers' hands touched my shoulder. Casseroles lined my counter. But I was a ghost in my own life. A week later, the man from the company came. He didn't look me in the eye. The company had no proper insurance. He handed me a check for $40,000. That was the price of my husband's life. I folded it and tucked it away in the drawer with his old wallet, his glasses, his watch. I didn't tell Jacob. I couldn't say out loud that the man who gave us everything was reduced to a number. Chapter 2: A Mother's Sacrifice. Jacob was 18 when Tom died. He offered to skip college and work instead, but I told him no. Your daddy wanted better for you. He dreamed big of leaving our small Kentucky town, finding work in Chicago, starting fresh. I gave him $1,000 in cash, months of pinching pennies, only for emergencies. I told him. He promised to call every Sunday, and he did, at first. The city was fast, loud. He worked at a mechanic shop. Then came the question I feared. Mom, rent is too high. I found a small apartment to buy, but I need help with the down payment. I was thinking, maybe the money from Dad. My chest tightened. That $40,000 was sacred, a safety net. But his voice was soft, full of hope. For us, Mom, I'll bring you here someday. You won't have to worry. I wanted to believe him. So I said yes. I transferred all of it, every dollar. And when he sent me a photo of his new place, just bare walls and a mattress on the floor, I pinned it above my sewing table and smiled. I worked harder, sold eggs, took in more mending jobs, raised 2 pigs instead of 1. I mailed him money during the holidays. I didn't expect anything back. But promises, they fade fast. Chapter 3. The slow fade calls became less frequent. Once a week, then every 2, then silence. I told myself he was busy, adjusting, but I felt it. The distance, the weight of being forgotten. Still, I sent care packages, cookies, wool socks, notes with $10 tucked in. Stay warm, eat well, love you always. No reply, just hope quietly waiting at the mailbox. Then one morning, a neighbor brought me an envelope. "Congrats," she smiled. Inside a wedding invitation, Jacob's? He never called, never told me. The wedding was in 2 weeks, in Chicago. I packed my best dress, booked a 12-hour bus ride. I had to be there, even if uninvited. At the wedding, no one spoke to me. My name was on a place card last row, near the door. When Jacob walked in, he never looked my way. He didn't see me, not once. I left before dessert. That night, I sat in a cheap motel and whispered into the dark. I don't think he saw me. Chapter 4. The final blow after the wedding. Even the silence grew quieter. Then one day, another neighbor asked, "Jacob's a father now, right?" I froze. "A baby, a granddaughter." No call, no photo, nothing! I dialed Jacob's number. His wife answered. "Oh, it's you," she said flatly. "I just heard about the baby." "We've been busy," she said. "Didn't have time to update everyone." I could have helped. Her tone turned sharp. "If you really want to help, come take care of the baby. We both work." I hesitated. My back isn't what it used to be. "If you're too old to help," she snapped, "maybe you shouldn't expect anything from us." She hung up. And in that moment, something inside me cracked. Not from pain, from clarity. I had given everything, and now I was just too old to be useful. I sat at the table Tom built, looked at the empty yard, and whispered to myself, "No more." Chapter 5. Choosing me. I stopped waiting for the phone to ring. I stopped knitting booties for a baby I'd never meet. I stopped making care packages no one would open. Instead, I opened a notepad, made a list. What I owned, what I could sell, what I needed to start again. I called a realtor, booked an appointment with the bank, looked for small apartments in nearby towns, places with sidewalks and diners and public libraries. It wasn't about running or revenge. It was about self-respect. I had spent a lifetime giving. Now I would give something to myself. I sold the farmhouse, sorted memories, packed Tom's photo gently in a towel. I let go of the china I saved for holidays that never came. And with everything I owned in the back of a borrowed truck, I left. Not bitter, why just free. Chapter 6. A New Life. My new apartment was small, just one bedroom, thin walls, a tiny kitchen. But it had sunlight. It had warmth. It had silence that didn't ache. My neighbors were kind old, quiet, respectful. I found a job cleaning the local church before dawn. It didn't pay much, but it gave me rhythm, purpose, movement. Mop the floors, light a candle, sit quietly in the back pew, not to pray, just to breathe. I bought myself flowers on Fridays, wrote letters to myself on Sundays, planted herbs in the windowsill, hung a wind chime by the door. I didn't send packages anymore. Didn't leave voicemails. Didn't chase love that didn't want to be caught. And for the first time, that was enough. Lesson. Love is not measured by what we give, but by how we are treated in return. Martha gave her heart, her money, her time, and yet she was treated as disposable. That is not love. That is use. Starting over doesn't mean failure. It means strength. She rebuilt her life brick by brick, not out of bitterness, but out of grace. It's not easy to begin again, but it is possible. It's never too late to choose yourself. Martha's greatest act of courage wasn't giving everything to others. It was finally choosing to keep something for herself. You are not broken because someone didn't choose you back. Their silence is not your failure. Their neglect is not your shame. If you're sitting alone right now, maybe in a quiet kitchen, maybe staring at old photos, maybe feeling like life moved on without you, I want you to know, you are not invisible. You are not a burden. You are not too late. You are a woman with stories, with wisdom, with strength. And even without a pension, without savings, without someone to lean on, you still matter. You still deserve peace. You still have value beyond what you can give. If Martha's story echoes in your heart, take it as a gentle invitation to reclaim your time, to stop chasing validation, to choose your own life on your terms. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Because the quiet ones, the ones who give without asking, they deserve to be seen too. You are not alone, and you never were.